Welcome to the second meeting of the 2026 session of the Senate Standing Committee on Veterans, Military Affairs, and Public Protection. Just a few reminders. If you do have a cell phone, please make sure that your ringer is turned off so that we can conduct business without any interruptions. Also, please be reminded that there are no signs permitted in the committee room. If you are interested in testifying, please make sure that you do sign in so that we can call upon you at the appropriate times. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Berg, Senator Boswell, Senator Clemens, Senator Higdon, Senator Nunn, Senator Richardson, Senator Smith, Senator Tishner, Senator Wilson, Vice Chair Reed, Chair Deneen.
Here. All right, at this time, I will call on Senator Boswell, if you'll lead us in prayer, and Senator Richardson, if you would follow that with leading us in the pledge.
O great God of heaven, be with us today and pardon us the wisdom that only you can do as we make decisions that affect our state. In Jesus' name we pray.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, guests. Anybody have any guests they'd like to recognize at this time that are joining us? Seeing none. All right. We have two bills before us today for our consideration. Senate Bill 84 and Senate Bill 102. And at this time, I will present Senate Bill 84. Co-Chair Reed, you take the helm.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Once he introduces himself for the record and his guest. You just say, please introduce yourself.
All right, good morning. Please introduce yourself for the record, sir.
Senator Matt Deneen, District 10.
Jeff Ivers, Shelby County Coroner, and also Kentucky Coroner Association.
Gary Ginn, Fayette County Coroner, Coroners Association.
Pat Elmore, Hardin County Coroner, Kentucky Coroners Association.
Jeff Jones, Davis County Coroner and President of the Kentucky Coroners Association.
All right, welcome, gentlemen.
With your permission, I would like to go ahead and get into the bill, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Chairman.
Yes, sir. Let's do
Thank
it.
you, committee members. Thank you, Chairman. Senate Bill 84 is a bill that came out of the interim session. We were presented this in the VMAP interim session regarding emergency response trailers for our county coroners and aligning their map of emergency services with the EMS map, services map for the state. Currently, there are 10 districts across the state. Each district has 12 counties. Currently, we only have 5 emergency response trailers that our coroners are using in response to natural disasters across the state. And as we've seen here lately, with snow and ice and sometimes multiple fatalities, it is so very important that we have our emergency service personnel and our coroners equipped with the equipment to make sure that we have our loved ones taken care of that may have tragically lost their lives during one of these natural disasters. What Senate Bill 84 does, it provides 5 additional trailers, 1 per district of the 10. So this would equip those trailers with emergency response equipment needed by the coroners when dealing with multiple fatalities. And it also gives us a much quicker response time. As we've seen with the floods, as we've seen with the fires, as we've seen with tornadoes, as we've seen with many, many natural disasters that unfortunately are happening more frequent than we would like to see. This bill does have a opportunity for a very small amount of funding in the realm of $200,000. And I think that is a very small amount to ask for in a budget that serves our entire Commonwealth. At this time, I would like to have our county coroner, my county coroner from Hardin County, Pat Elmore, if he would like to make any statements. And I know they've traveled a long way to be with us this morning early on a snowy day, so we would appreciate any comments that they may have in regard to the bill.
Thank you, Senator. Once again, we appreciate the opportunity to come up here and speak on his behalf. As Senator Deneen stated, the trailers presently we have are excess of 20 years old, and we try to be as frugal as we can with the money and try to do as economic as we can. But it serves a purpose because we do cover all the counties. And the members to my left and to the right here are also members of the mass fatality team that responds all over the state of Kentucky. So this will give us a quicker chance to respond as well as better equipment. So thanks once again for the consideration.
And I would like to point out one thing. This is a one-time funding situation because as this equipment is used, it would be replenished when a natural disaster is declared through FEMA funding. So we would just be initially funding the initial part of this, but the replacement of that equipment, and many times our coroners are called on to unfortunately search for bodies in rubble in the middle of the night, and they need that equipment to do the job that's necessary. So anybody else like to make any comments? Okay. At this time, I'll be open for any questions.
Motion.
Okay, motion on the bill. Senator Richardson. Is there a second? Senator Tishner. All right, are there any questions? I think we have a list here. Senator Smith.
Yes, I appreciate the bill being brought by the sponsor, but I had a question. After the flood that we had in Perry County, and not counting that whole region in there, we obviously had to deal with this. And one of the issues was power and not being able to have the trailers as we were bringing the bodies back. Do these trailers have standby power and stuff available to them? Because in some cases we had in the Walmart parking lot,
Sure.
yeah, that was a big issue, is that we got hit so hard that we had no power in a lot of the areas, and then also had bodies on top of that. So do these things have their standalone power?
When it comes to the equipment that goes in these trailers, our County Coroners Association will making that call, but generators to service those areas and to make sure, I'm sure would be a part of that equipment that goes into these trailers.
Because I'd be absolute for funding it. I mean, I hope no other counties ever have to have them in there, but that having it being able to be cool and some of the environments we've had in there obviously is very, very important. So I think it's a great deal. It's unfortunately a necessity of what we are faced with now with these disasters that are hitting our state. But thank you, men, for what you do. It's a tough job, but I do want to make sure we equip you properly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Nunn.
I just want to, first of all, thank you for the jobs that y'all do. It's very necessary and important in our community. So appreciate your service to our Commonwealth in that regard. And just wanted to commend you for the way you approach this. $200,000. We throw big numbers around in this building. You all have been very responsible, very frugal, and the taxpayers of this Commonwealth thank you for that, and I thank you for that.
Senator Higdon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Senator Deneen, thank you, and thanks to the coroners. Thank you all for the work you do, and it's not a glorified job. You're the last person that gets called, hopefully, and when you do, you need to respond, and I guess that's what we're doing here today, to give you the tools to react to those disasters. And like right now across the state, we're reacting to the snow and ice, and we have to be prepared. And is there any particular disaster we've had recently that this additional trailers placed across the state would have had an immediate impact and helpful?
Well, we were able to, the Laurel County tornadoes, when it went down to the southeastern part of the state, we were able to get equipment there. But if we would have had trailers in those areas, it'd have been a faster response for Coroner down there to be able to access the certain equipment that he needed rapidly to be able to provide that.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Boswell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, well, I want to welcome my coroner, Jeff Jones, here today. And I know if Jeff gets up this early and have to come up here to testify on the bill, I know it's a good bill. So I'm okay with the bill. I think it's a very good bill. My only comment would be that I would like this better if it said it was coming out of the military affairs budget versus general funds appropriation. As a member of A&R, we're going to have some tough decisions this year. So we're not talking about a lot of money here, but the military affairs bit, they have a pretty good size budget. So as we go forward, as a member of A&R, we'll have to look at how we're going to fund this, but I'm in favor of the bill.
Senator Byrd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, gentlemen, very, very much for the work you do. I know this is very difficult work. I'm obviously in favor of the bill because I'm one that knows that the state has to be prepared for these type of incidences. They happen. My question is actually a little bit outside the scope of the bill, but one of the things that I really worry about in this state. Do you all have a communications system that allows you to directly communicate with other first responders?
We all have the capabilities of different radios. Some corners, when we go to different areas throughout the state of Kentucky, each county can operate off of different channels. Just to give you an example, some counties operate off of 800 megahertz systems, some operate off of VHF frequency systems, some operate off of UHF. But we have the capabilities of being able to communicate with them through our cell phones if we do not have direct communications with them via radio.
Follow up, please. You
Proceed,
feel that your ability to communicate with the rest of the first responders in this state is adequate?
I do at this time. I know that the Kentucky is actually building a statewide system, and hopefully when that becomes statewide, we'll be able to each county be able to find the funding to be able to operate on that channel, on that system.
All right. Proud to see my coroner here from Shelby County, Jeff Ivers, in the pursuit of better preparedness for our state. And if there are no more questions, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Byrd,
Aye.
Senator Boswell, Senator Clemens, Senator Higdon, Senator Nunn, Senator Reed,
Aye.
Senator Richardson, Senator Smith, Senator Tishner, Senator Wilson, Chair Deneen.
Aye.
All right. Senate Bill 84 passes with favorable expression. That the same should pass. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee members. Thank you all, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
We'll get up here later.
Absolutely, before we leave.
Yeah.
All right, at this time, we will move on with the second bill for the committee to consider, and that is Senate Bill 102. Please identify yourself for the record, and you may begin.
Senator Aaron Reed from District 7.
Steve Kelly, contract lobbyist for the Kentucky State Police Professional Association.
There you go.
I'll say it again. Steve Kelly, contract lobbyist for the Kentucky State Police Professional Association.
It's tricky. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Chair and colleagues. Senate Bill 102 is a narrow, practical bill designed to help the Kentucky State Police address real staffing challenges while maintaining their high standards and their fiscal responsibilities. Under current law, Kentucky State troopers who retire may return to service as a Trooper R, and that's within 5 years of their retirement date. The Trooper R program allows experienced, fully trained troopers to help fill shifts without the Commonwealth having to contribute to a new retirement program or system. Senate Bill 102 makes one simple adjustment. It resets the 5-year eligibility window based on a trooper's last day of work for the Kentucky State Police, rather than their original retirement date. So this change recognizes the reality that some troopers continue working in other capacities or maintain their skills well beyond their formal retirement date. If they still meet all standards and are willing to serve, this bill gives troopers more flexibility to use that experience where it's needed the most. This bill does not expand benefits, it does not lower standards, and it does not create a new retirement obligation. It simply helps the Kentucky State Police retain access to qualified professionals and strengthens public safety across the Commonwealth. I appreciate your consideration and would be happy to answer any questions. But I also have Mr. Kelly here to chime in as well.
Well, all I'd say is we appreciate Senator Reed bringing this bill, as well as others. He's a huge supporter of Kentucky State Police and wants to do what's best for that agency and organization. And I think the language in this bill just allows those Trooper R guys that are sometimes in and out of service. They may work for a few years and then leave and then come back, depending on situations or who's in charge and where they're needed. So this just allows them to use that last date of service rather than their original retirement date. So we feel like it's a good bill and we wanted to support it. So we appreciate it.
We do have some questions. Senator Byrd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And, it's natural for us, for me, to extrapolate this to my workplace. So if I was a practicing physician and I left work, within 5 years, I could come back to work without having to do anything additional. No additional continuing education, anything like that. But then you're telling me that if I work a week at the end of that 5-year period, I've got another 5 years without having any additional educational requirements. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, ma'am, essentially, but typically they don't work just a week. They would work under a contract type of situation.
I understand what's typical, but you always plan for worst case scenarios, or that's
Sure.
what I was taught. Is there any requirement for continuing education in this arena?
That is a good question. I can get back with you on that. I know there are some POP certification issues that are out there, but at this time I couldn't reply to your answer and be 100% truthful.
Senator Higdon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to answer that question about qualification, they will have to do the POP certification every year because that is mandatory for any law enforcement, and so the training is there. There might be additional training that state police require, first aid or driving safety or something. I don't know what that would be, but one of the main ones, that POP certification, and that's a big one. So that is required.
Yes, sir.
For any law enforcement. I'm in favor of the bill. It's a good bill. The Trooper R is a great program. Get seasoned, experienced law enforcement officers that are retired back working, and I think it's a great program. I do have just FYI. There's when you talk about there's no additional requirements for retirement. Basically, when you hire Trooper R, there's nothing paid into the retirement system for them, and that's a good deal for whoever hires them because hazardous duty retirement is about 35% of pay, so that's a substantial savings, but it also denies that the pension system that those important dollars to go into the system. So I've always advocated if we're going to do this, we ought to at least make normal cost contribution, which is 9%, which wouldn't, I don't think it would break the bank on anyone, but just FYI, that's that there is a element there that it doesn't cause an unfunded liability, but it certainly doesn't help our retirement system, because if the Trooper R didn't take that position, they probably offered to someone who would pay into the retirement system. And so that's just why I make that comment. Just one of my jobs is to make sure I protect the retirement system. All these gentlemen in the room that are retired and ready to retire, I want to make sure those checks come in every month.
Understood.
Senator Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Senator Higdon kind of answered most of the question. I do want to be careful in comparing professions a little bit, but I do respect it, because I think where you're going for with the physician is important on the physician side, more than ever. But growing up, I either wanted to be a state trooper or in the military, because those were the two. I have to speak differently as a senator now. Those were the two baddest men on the planet that I saw growing up. I had a state trooper that was a neighbor, and I had a special forces that was on the other side. And then I chickened out and became a lawyer, so I'm sorry for that. But their training is they are the best of the best. And so I think taking any time period off, I think these old, incredibly disciplined habits die hard. So I just wanted to be clear on that. But Senator Higdon did answer the question about the certification that is needed ongoing. So I support this bill emphatically, and thank you for bringing it.
Thank you.
Senator Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to clarify, like if I am a trooper and I retire, I have up to 5 years to come back to be a Trooper R. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then if I come back and I serve, say, 3 years on a contract as Trooper R, then the last date of that Trooper R service now counts as my next 5 years.
Correct.
That's just what I was wondering. Thank you.
Senator Boswell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, this is a good bill. And this Trooper R program, I think, is very successful. But I do want to call attention to one other issue it's not exactly this, but it's in the same realm. So we have a serious shortage of law enforcement people in our conservation officers around the state. Just for example, in my district, we've got a man that's been serving for 28 years, but we don't have such a program for them. So this is a good program, but I think as we go into the future, we need to look at trying to fill all these voids in our conservation officers, because we are short all over the state. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Senator Reed, I want to first thank you for bringing the bill. I know you've worked diligently on this and to garner support for it. And as the son of a former military policeman and law enforcement individual, I understand and I wholeheartedly agree with Richardson. Many of the people that serve in our law enforcement agencies are highly skilled and trained and have served our communities well. And I believe your bill helps us fill some of those gaps that we are seeing right now with some of the folks that may no longer be interested in serving in law enforcement, or that those numbers may not be where they need to be when we are out recruiting those individuals. But I can assure you this, those people that we do recruit and those people that do get involved in this endeavor are the best of the best, I agree. And they are fully committed to our communities and serving others. And there's no replacement for experience. And I'm wholeheartedly in support of your bill, and I appreciate you bringing it.
Motion on the bill.
I have a motion on the bill.
Second.
And a second. If there's no further questions, clerk, call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Boswell. Senator Clemens. Senator Higdon. Senator Nunn. Senator Reed. Aye. Senator Richardson. Senator Smith.
Mr. Chairman, may I explain my aye vote?
Yes, sir.
At a time when we're seeing record numbers of law enforcement leave and retire and get out of it because often the way that they're treated, it's good for us to be able to give us a new tool in the toolbox to try to bring back those seasoned veterans that have the discipline and the style to be there, and it's always good. The Trooper R program is really kind of brought back into play by the Senate Majority Caucus. I'm very proud of that, and glad to see it out there, and certainly want the men and women in uniform to know that they are supported by us, and we're very, very proud to have them there, and wish we could get you some new recruits, but it's a tough business to be in, and we're very proud of you all. Thank you.
Senator Tishner? Senator Wilson? Aye. Chair Deneen?
Aye. No other votes? Senate Bill 102 passes with favorable expression. The same should pass. Thank you, sir, for bringing the bill.
Got one more as well. If you, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to say, you know, my father was a state trooper from '76 to 2003. You know, I was never more proud, to Senator Richardson's point there, to see my father in that gray uniform my whole life as a kid. And I wish that I'm sure that he would love to come back as a Trooper R at 73 years old. But you know, there are standards that must be met. And I won't be able to tell him he can come back on this one. But there's lots of other troopers out there I know that walk the halls here that have friends that are itching to get back in the game. So you know, service is something that's in our blood, and you know, in the warrior class of the state police. They absolutely are looking forward to getting back into this. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right. If there are no other business before the committee at this time,